I would ask that you please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices. At this time, I'd ask Commissioner Reginald Watts from District 3 to deliver the invocation, and Commissioner Ryan Bolden from District 4 to lead us in the pledge of the flag.
Let's pray. In the powerful name of Jesus, Lord, we just want to thank you, God. And Lord, we just want to invite you to be in this room with us, God. Lord, let us decrease as you increase, God, that we make decisions on behalf of your people. It is in the powerful name your people have prayed. Amen, amen, and amen.
If you would please join me in pledge allegiance to our flag. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. I believe we have an executive session scheduled for the regular meeting this evening. Would the board entertain amending the agenda and conducting the executive session at the end of this workshop? If so, I would entertain a motion to amend the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add an executive session as the last item on this workshop.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. 4-0, motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'd like to recognize Judge Rita Kavanaugh to share with us a request they have that the county would provide $200 monthly expenses allowance per OCGA 151023-1. Judge Kavanaugh,
Yes.
welcome.
I think our letter requesting this was pretty self-explanatory. The statutes, Georgia statutes provide for that contingent expense based on population of the county. And that would be $200 a month here in Spalding County based off our population. And that would cover any expenses that we have. We furnish our own phones, of course, that we use for business. We drive our vehicles back and forth to the county jail, the city police department, the hospital. We have to go out there sometimes when there's an inmate in serious condition and do first appearance hearings, because when they're in custody, the county's paying it. When we go out there and do bond hearings, first appearance hearings, the county will go ahead and OR them so that they're no longer responsible for their expenses at the hospital. We, of course, drive our cars, returning to the office after hours. We go to meetings around town. We go to Griffin Circuit meetings. That's 4 counties involved. Some of our supplies we buy, and of course our clothing, and we provide gifts to all of our employees at Christmas. So we're just asking for $200 a month per judge.
When was the last time we did anything with money for you all?
They don't get an expense account.
We don't get any expenses. No, we don't.
That's correct. So this is the first time
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
I want to make sure everybody understands.
Yes, and
Mr.
it's
Chairman.
been provided for. We've never asked for it. It's my understanding of the statutes that we have to waive it in writing. We've never done that, but we've never asked for it. But we are at a point where it's really costing us a lot driving back and forth.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, your ordinance does allow for you to supplement the state allowance for the chief magistrate. It's a little less clear on other magistrate judges, but we are already in the process of reviewing and making changes to our courts ordinance. We have 2 sections in different articles that address the magistrate court for whatever reason. We also have a special section on small claims court that hasn't been revised since the beginning of time, and we don't really have a separate small claims court. We have a magistrate court. So we are in the process of consolidating those, and I would agree that the law, the Georgia code certainly allows for this, but your ordinance also allows for it, I would, suggest that we do, amend the ordinance though to specifically address supplements for the magistrate court.
How much money overall is this, county manager?
So it would be $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year to accommodate for all the judges. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And the recommendation from staff is that you move forward in compliance with OCGA 1510-23.1, but make it so that it is in, the ordinance is in compliance with state law or by fee schedule, so that you have the opportunity to make these changes as they are applicable.
And I would suggest fee schedule, since that's what we're doing with the majority of the ordinances, so that you can amend those by resolution as you see fit.
Okay. We're going to vote on this evening. Anybody have any questions or concerns about this before we get this evening? All right. Thank you, Judge Kavanaugh. We appreciate it. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
the work you do every day,
Yeah,
too.
may I ask if any of the other judges have something they'd like to add? I've got 3 of them sitting back here.
Welcome.
Well,
We're
Oh, don't have anything to add? Okay,
we're
thank you.
glad we're on this side and you're on that side this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consideration to amend the Land Bank Authority. I would recognize Land Bank Executive Director Christopher Blocker to share with us the request to amend the interlocal agreement concerning the Land Bank Authority. Mr. Blocker, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon. For those of you all who I have not met, my name is Christopher Blocker. I am the Land Bank Authority Manager. I've been managing the Land Bank for since October of 24, and so this October will be 1 year. And so I've come to address you all today to discuss some of the challenges that we're having in the operation of the Land Bank. And so ultimately what we are going to be requesting is an amendment to the agreement so that we can operate efficiently, effectively, and in accordance with the current legislation that is has been passed by the state of Georgia. So I'm going to pass out the agreement, and then I will highlight the need for what recommended changes are needed in the agreement for you all to consider.
Okay. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay. Really what this came about was this actually came about when we were going over our monthly finances at our Land Bank Authority meeting every month, where our school-appointed board member who serves as our treasurer, Bruce Ballard, really pointed out to the Land Bank Authority Board and said that how the Land Bank Authority finances were being managed was different from what was written in the interlocal agreement. So what that required, and this was back in January of 25, when he first brought that about. And, you know, truth be told, the Land Bank Authority, because of the lack of sales of properties over from the departure of the previous executive director to my arrival in October of 24, the land bank really hadn't been selling a significant amount of properties, and so over that time, there was some discussion and operation about how the land bank authority would operate. And so, again, what I'll be talking about today is just some of the issues that have arrived over the course of the years. And I brought along the land bank attorney, Mr. David Penland, who serves as our representative and provides legal counsel to the land bank authority. So the first note that I want to point out to you is on page 5, Article 3, Section a term where it says a term of 4 years and board members will serve a term of 4 years and shall serve without compensation. And currently, I'm just going to point out the county representatives who are Newton Galloway and Ms. Cora Flowers serve in 2-year terms. There's some discrepancy there. On page 6, Article 3, Section C, the authority shall maintain its own staff or may utilize employees of the parties as determined and agreed upon and as set forth hereinafter. I believe that was in.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Which document are we looking at? The
Oh, I'm
bill
sorry. We're looking at the interlocal
or
agreement.
the interlocal agreement?
Yeah, we're looking at the interlocal agreement. And Ms. Dye, could you pass out this lease agreement?
Thank you.
So, page 6 of the interlocal, page 6, Article 3, Section C of the interlocal agreement says the authority may employ its own staff or may utilize employees of the parties as determined and agreed upon and as set forth hereinafter. And if you note, on page 1 of the personnel agreement, it looks like such. It says the lessor agrees to lessee those employees necessary to provide day-to-day general operations at the Griffin Spalding County Land Bank Authority shall be employees of the city of Griffin. At no time shall the individuals be deemed employees of said authority. Note number that I have is number 3. Page 9 and 10, Article 7, Section B, 1 and 2, stipulates low to moderate income and a deed restriction with property requiring owner occupancy of the property. I'm going to, and then also on page 10, Article 7, Section D, number 4, to the county and city in such proportions as the parties may agree based on the percentage of recommendations by each party. So here are my recommendations as it relates to both of those articles or sections in Article 7. To remove the owner occupancy requirement because I find that it has been very restrictive to new inquiries within for the Land Bank Authority. And then also to remove point number 4. And then also my recommendation is there's no mention of the years for the 5 and 75% rule for the tax revenue of the property sold by the land bank as stated in section 48-4110, line 417 in the state legislation. where it says up to 75% of the real property taxes collected on real property, exclusive of any state or school district ad valorem tax conveyed by land bank pursuant to the laws of the state shall be remitted to the land bank. So I'm going to stop, and basically what this means is that the land bank can receive revenue as a result of the tax proceeds for up to 5 years and 75% once that property is back on the tax rolls, which is not allowed in the interlocal agreement. Then on page 11, Article 8, Section A, the authority may also create and impose covenants and or deed restrictions which will govern the future use of each property. So if we're going back to page 9 and 10, Article 7, Section B1, and stipulates low to moderate income and a deed restriction. That's actually stated twice. It's stated twice within the interlocal agreement. And so you all, between the city and county, have stipulated that the land bank authority has the ability to place deed restrictions and covenants itself, but then also between the two governments, you've also placed that restriction. And so the land bank authority is in agreement with the deed restriction and owner occupancy, but we, as the land bank authority, it's my personal belief that we should be allowed to set the policy ourselves, and so that we don't have to come to our representative governments to request a change within the interlocal agreement. Okay. Page 12, Article 10, Section A. All staff members shall be elected by the board, and the board shall have authority to set the terms and conditions, including benefits and compensation of any person so employed. And that has been superseded by the lease agreement of personnel, but in a new agreement it can be clearly stated. On page 13, Article 11, it needs a recommendation for equitably apportioned in terms of budget. So in the budget and how the budget was set for fiscal year of 2026, I determined and then brought forth to our board, and which you all approved as well as the city approved, is that the equitable portion would be based off the tax assessed value of all the properties in the land bank. There are approximately 368 parcels within the land bank. 2/3 of those are within the city of Griffin, and the last third is within Spalding County. But based off of the tax assessed value, because of the size of all those properties, it's approximately 53% in the city, 46% in the county. And so it's my belief that the recommendation, in the interlocal agreement, is that the equitable apportionment should be representative tax assessed value. So then that way there's no further question about how the city and the county apportion should be allocated. Okay. Page 14, Article 11, Section B. The authority shall maintain a set of books and records as recommended by city and county auditors. The authority shall provide quarterly financial reports to the parties that detail all accounting activities during the period. And that's not happening. And records right now are currently maintained by our treasurer and the city of Griffin. The treasurer does not have access to the records from the city of Griffin, and the city of Griffin does not have access to the accounts that are maintained by the treasurer. So what that means is that over the course of this past year, some bills were actually paid by our treasurer, and some bills were paid by the county when there was a budget or accounting or account deficit, or meaning not enough funds available to pay whatever the expense. So where this came about is the Land Bank Authority needed to audit, I believe that was budget year 2022. We did not have enough money in the Land Bank Authority account to pay for the audit from Malden and Jenkins, which I believe was about $12,000. So when I looked as a city staff, I was able to look and to see the Land Bank Authority's allocation from the city. I was able to see that the Land Bank Authority had about $40,000 in the city's account to pay for the audit. And so from January of 25 through currently, a lot of the land bank's bills are paid by the city, which has which isn't in agreement with the interlocal agreement. It really what the interlocal agreement is saying, it says that the city and the county should pay the land bank, and that the land bank would then pay its expenses for whatever those expenses are. And so that's really what's been going on in terms of the finances, which has been a major issue. So our finance team has been going, not ours, but the city of Griffin finance team has been going, has been communicating with the county finance folks as it relates to how to pay for the FY 2025 financial expenses, including salaries, legal fees, professional fees, all of the operating expenses of the land bank. And it has been a little bit of challenge, and I want to commend both sides on working that out. But again, if the interlocal agreement was a lot clearer, then it would be a lot easier to be able to manage the land bank. And so I'm going to close on where it says, paid on page 14, Article 11, Section D2. And this is essentially is the crux of the issue between Section B and Section D2. It says the total county contribution is subject to the annual approval by the Spalding County Board of Commissioners. Approval shall include a timeline of payments and shall be received in writing by the authority no later than the first day of January of each year. And I want to say your budget timeline was maybe April, May of this year. And so it's my recommendation to change that statement to reflect both the city and the county budget timelines for when Dr. Ledbetter and Ms. O'Connor have to submit their budget requests for commission approvals. That's all.
It's a lot. Questions? And we're voting on this evening.
Oh, no, we're not.
English, what are they wanting?
Oh, no, we're not. We're not voting on this this evening.
Mr. Chairman, this is in no way ready for a vote tonight.
Definitely not
I
voting.
mean, I don't, it's all above my head.
So-
I
so-
haven't heard nothing about the land bank in so long, I forgot we.
So plain language, update the agreement to reflect what's needed currently.
That still doesn't tell you anything.
Okay,
Okay, so who's saying okay?
no, I said,
So the land bank has not had anyone in leadership in the last few years, okay? So in the process process, there have been no checks and balances.
Microphone.
In the process, there's been no checks and balances. So after Christopher got here, then now the board has decided they want to have a system. Well, the way that it's been being done, like they haven't had a budget. They started in 2008. We've been giving them the same 23 or whatever amount of money to operate on, and then expecting them to have all their stuff done with that money. So what he's saying is that some of the language in here is too convoluted. You know, you got to go through the city. I mean, David Lucky at the Development Authority doesn't have to come over here and ask them for money to do their stuff. So there's a lot of that language in there, and the reason I say that is because, first of all, Christopher, I've heard you talk before. I don't know if you're sick today, but it was like pulling teeth going through that presentation with you just now. I'm just being honest. I don't know about anybody else. It's not that hard, but we're not ready to vote on this because, you know, one of the things I've always said to them, if you came and told us that you needed money for legal fees, then we could have voted on it. But they're just getting to that place now where they're trying to get themselves situated as their own authority, and they're needing us to help us to fix this language so that they can. Is that basically it?
Gotcha.
So that they can do that.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that, that a new interlocal agreement is being actually drafted, which some of the changes that Mr. Blocker suggests are definitely needed. Others, not so much. The employment issues, I don't see as issues because it allows for both what the current situation is, which is the Land Bank Authority is leasing him, for lack of a better term, from the city of Griffin, but it also allows for that to change, which it's changed in the past, it could change in the future. It may be that the authority does employ its own staff in the future, and it may be that the authority needed to hire a secretary or an account reconciler or something like that. So you don't need to change some of those things, in my opinion. I have been a proponent, and you know that I've been a proponent of reconstituting our land bank under the 2012 Georgia Land Bank Act, and any amendment that makes significant changes to the authority forces us to do that, which I think is a good thing. It gives the Land Bank Authority more power and authority pursuant to the current land bank statutes. We've been operating the old way. I believe it needs to change to the new way, if you can call 2012 the new way.
It's only a few years old. Erica, do you have something that you'd like to share?
I just wanted to add that we received, finance received a detailed email from the city of Griffin on Friday. We had budgeted for FY '25 $100,000 for the Land Bank Authority, and they had asked for payment. And then on Friday, again, I received a detailed email from the city manager, the city attorney, and Mr. Blocker saying that they were going to refund us, that they could not accept the $100,000, that they were going to refund us a total of
30,000 or something.
yes, $39,129, and that again for FY '26 we had allotted $107,000 for the budget, so we were sending in monthly supplements of $8,916.
That's what's wrong with all this. There's too many bosses and they can't do their stuff because they got to ask for money to do anything.
All right.
But before you have this as an action item on an agenda, you need a document that has the suggested changes in it for your review.
That's
and
what I was gonna suggest.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that,
Are we in agreement? We're going to table this tonight?
and ask Steve or staff to help us get a copy that show the highlighted changes and what the suggested language will be. Because
We can definitely provide you with a red line version, yes, ma'am.
I'm sure
Thank you.
that Christopher is here representing his board and what their desires are. you know, but as the organizations that have promised to support them, to help them get on their feet, I think we still have an obligation to maybe not babysit them as hard as they were babysat and have been for the last 10 or 12 years, but certainly to set some expectations where we expect objective results or objective answers.
And I also would like for y'all to think about a few things, and one of those being the requirement for owner occupancy, because unfortunately in enforcing that requirement, you have tied the land bank's hands in many situations where they could have, because we all know that they have, when the strategy was take whatever's left at a tax sale, we now own a retention pond, a private road, and many other things that we shouldn't own. And it has been very difficult to get to sell a lot of those properties, especially since Miss Church left and we were without anyone in that position until a year ago when Christopher joined as the manager of the land bank. So thinking about maybe easing up on some of those restrictions, and also thinking about the fact that we have the land bank has a good number of deeds out there that have deed restrictions in them that are currently being violated left and right. The land bank doesn't have the resources to enforce those deed restrictions and go and sue people for their violation of them and getting those properties back, or whatever the resolution is, whether it's money damages or whatever. But so we have the city and the county, I think, in many ways, based on the current interlocal agreement and its iterations before, have made it difficult for the land bank to actually do its business within Griffin and Spalding County.
Okay, provide us, and we'll look at it again, bring it back to a workshop, because we'll want to look at it at a workshop, not just straight out.
Yes, sir. I'm sure that Drew and Kelsey will be reviewing a version, and I would need to review a version as well.
Absolutely. My goal today was to inform you and not expect a vote or anything. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Christopher, we understand.
I have a question.
Yes, hold it.
So am I to understand that we agreed to fund the Land Bank Authority at $100,000 instead of $37,000, but we didn't ask the city if they were going to match it? Because isn't it supposed to be half of whatever that budgeted amount? That first budgeted amount was $70,000, and it was
So-
kind of half and half.
So my point in my presentation today, it doesn't stipulate any of that. It doesn't stipulate 50%. It says equitably apportioned.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And
Yeah,
his point as to the valuation of properties is very valid, and that is that you may have more parcels that are located within the city limits than you do in unincorporated Spalding County, but that doesn't mean that their valuations are
Anywhere near, yeah.
proportionate.
okay.
Thank you, Christopher, we appreciate it. Item number 6, I would recognize the Deputy County Manager, Ms. Erica Dye, to present the budget amendments to the prior year encumbrances. Ms. Dye.
Thank you, Commissioners. I am going to let my new Assistant Finance Director, Jamie Tarleton, give you the presentation for the budget amendments for FY25.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today we want to present to you the proposed amendments for the fiscal year 2026 budget, specifically addressing the prior year encumbrances that have rolled forward. These amendments are crucial for ensuring that our financial commitments from the previous year are honored and that our ongoing projects and obligations are adequately funded. Firstly, it is important to recognize that these encumbrances represent essential expenditures committed but not fully expended in prior fiscal year. Rolling these forward into the current fiscal year allows us to maintain continuity and avoid disruptions in our operations and services for the county. The proposed amendments will allocate the necessary funds to cover these encumbrances, ensuring that we meet our contractual obligations and continue to support critical initiatives. This includes funding for ongoing infrastructure projects, essential services, and other key programs that are vital to our community's well-being. By approving these amendments, we demonstrate our commitment to fiscal responsibility and our dedication to delivering on our promises. We must manage our resources effectively to benefit our constituents. I urge you all to support these amendments as they are essential for maintaining the integrity of our budget and ensuring the successful continuation of our projects and our services. Together, we can ensure that our community remains strong, resilient, and well prepared for the future. Thank you for your attention and your support. You were provided with copies of all of the amended requests in the packet.
Okay, let's make sure that I understand. We're talking about things that last year we were funding. It was in the budget. We did not end up finishing off, as an example, and paying for it, and we're putting it into this year.
Yes, sir. We're rolling the encumbrance as well as the monies that were provided in 25 into 26 to cover those expenses.
Correct.
Okay, and we're gonna vote on that this evening. All right.
So this money was left over from last year because we didn't spend it?
Projects were left hanging from last year.
No, that's what I'm
Correct.
saying. We're saying we had these things that we were supposed to do, but we didn't pay for them?
Not yet. The projects were not completed.
It could be like the vets thing.
Like the fire trucks, for instance, they've been on order. We've had 2 or 3 of them that have been on order for, the past 2 or 3 fiscal years, and we just keep rolling that money over with the actual encumbrance, the PO, and it just keeps moving forward until we actually pay for it.
So this does not change what we budgeted?
That's correct.
Okay.
This is just moving
Rolling it
money
forward.
from one year to the next year. So it
Yes,
all
ma'am.
looks good on the,
This is a requirement, an auditing requirement to ensure that our books are transparent and accurate.
okay, and we do this a lot, if you want, I hate to say that, but we have to do it a lot.
4 times a year.
Okay, we're gonna vote on this year, at the end of the year. This is just stuff that keep it count. All right, any questions about it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to recognize Dr. Ledbetter to present the Go Rails Transportation Reauthorization.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The reauthorization letter is a letter in support of the I-75 Corridor Coalition to the U.S. Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, with the Spalding County Board of Commissioners signing this letter asking that this Senate committee move forward with the programming and grants for the transportation and infrastructure in support of the rail system from Port Savannah all the way to Hartsfield. This is a request from this coalition. They sent the information up to you. That information was provided to you in the packet, but it basically highlights the fact that you continue to provide support for this initiative. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
This is the second time we've done this?
That is correct. This is the second time we did, goodness, I guess it was about 18 months ago when we did the first one. This is just a re-support letter, reauthorization of the support letter moving forward. Just as an aside, either myself or Ms. Dye attend the I-75 Corridor Coalition meeting on a quarterly basis. The Georgia DOT is working very diligently in support of the expansion for the I-75 corridor, which will include a northbound lane for I-75 out of Port Savannah coming into the Atlanta area. They should, matter of fact, they are already starting to make acquisition of some of the easements that will be required for that additional lane. But in support of that effort, that will not take care of all of the freight that will be moved out of Port Savannah north. The rail system will be a major part of that, and Ms. Gwen, I'm sure, no, please forgive me, Commissioner Flowers-Taylor, I'm pretty sure that you are very much aware of how much of an increase the rail system has created coming through Spalding County. I can tell you from all of the conversations that I have been a party to that Director Emberger has been a party to, as we've heard multiple times where the commissioner out of the Port of Savannah and the commissioner for the Georgia DOT have reiterated the number of trucks, the increased freight that has come northbound and will continue to come northbound. I believe this is of vital importance, not only for our state, but for our community. I think that supporting a rail system that will take care of not only the freight, additional freight tonnage that will be moved through the state, but adding a passenger rail in support of this effort will be very beneficial for the state and for our community. And I would recommend that you guys consider making the signature in authorization of this transportation letter.
So you also know, I took it to ACCG lobbyist and said, hey, is there any issue with that? They skimmed through it and said, nope, we've seen a number of these provided from other counties to the Go Rails people. Bye-bye. Any questions on this? Okay. Thank you. Let's see here now. Professional services contract for juvenile court grant. I'd recognize the grant manager, Larry Wallace, for the discussion for professional service contract for One Flesh Monitoring to be paid for by the juvenile court grant. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Davis, Dr. Ledbetter, members of the board. I'm here today to request approval for a professional services contract with One Flesh Mentoring and Coaching LLC to provide Thinking for a Change facilitation services under our Juvenile Justice Incentive Grant Award. The contract is for not to exceed $49,000 from a period of September 2nd through June 30th of 2026. It is structured that they will receive $250 per session, scheduled on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. With a program duration of 25 lessons delivered over 12 weeks per cohort for a maximum of 6 cohorts. This requires as I mentioned, 25 lessons, Thinking for a Change curriculum, 2 to 3 times weekly, closed group format serving up to 12 participants with 2 certified T4C facilitators for each session. This also requires One Flesh Mentoring to adhere 100% to the T4C curriculum protocols and to submit periodic fidelity assessments that will be submitted to the state of Georgia. Background check requirements are within the contract, also with other stipulations, equal employment opportunity, debarment and suspension, professional liability insurance, as well as confidentiality protections. I request that the board approve this contract for a maximum of $49,000, and I'm able to take any questions at this point.
This is the first time we've done this, right?
Yes.
Okay. First grant we've got from them to be able to do this. And we're going to approve that this evening.
It's on the agenda, yes, sir.
On the agenda. Okay. Just questions from this is a good thing for us overall. We've needed this. All right. Larry, that's good. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 9, consider 5-year lease for mower max cutter. I'd like to recognize Public Works Director T.J. Emberger to share with us about the 5-year lease for the mower max side cutter. TJ, I believe this is to replace the side cutter that recently was destroyed by fire.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the opportunity, and commissioners as well. Yes, you are correct. If you go to the next slide, oh, one more. There is our one and only side cutter. So we currently do not have a side cutter. Would you like me to continue?
Not
Why,
much.
what happened to it?
It's had some type of defect and started on fire. We believe it was the DEF system, DEF, but we're not conclusive on that. It's either DEF or electrical.
So our insurance won't replace it?
We have a $25,000 deductible for our insurance for our equipment. That particular piece of equipment was about $25,000. It was how many years old?
So we bought this in about 2018. We purchased it for around 125. That exact unit right there, right now, starts at 225.
Yeah, these pieces of equipment are very expensive. They do a lot of work for us, not just on our dirt roads, but also on other roads as well. They help us cut back the overgrowth for the roadways. They can reach out. This one could reach out fairly well. The replacement model that TJ is making a recommendation for can reach out a little bit farther than that.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be able to manage our rights of ways a little easier, a little better. And I'll let him continue to go through the rest of the report that he has for you.
Thank you, Dr. Ledbetter. Next slide, please. So we are requesting to replace it with what they call a Mower Max. As you can see here, this is a specific piece of equipment designed for these operations. The machine that we had is a tractor with a side cutter added to it. This is designed and built as a side cutter along with other implements. And the advantages are, next slide, please. You have a forward operating location and view. This is the biggest item. So on a side cutter, you traditionally have the side cutter is to your right, is to the side. So as you're moving down the road, you're seeing forward. All your operations are to the right, so you actually have to turn. The Mower Max is actually designed so that that arm is moved towards the front of the piece of equipment so that your visual sight is both the roadway and the side cutter itself. So you're able to get a lot more efficiency because you can keep moving forward instead of having to stop and turn. It's not on here, but this piece of equipment also crab crawls, which means that all four tires turn, so that if they need maneuverability to turn or to make adjustments in the roadway, they do not have to go to the other lane of traffic to do so. So that is part of the maneuverability is the arm itself. This one would have 4 feet greater height than our other machine. It has rotating knucklehead. So that means that on the regular side cutter, what actually rotates or moves on the side cutter, it just goes up and down. This one will actually do a 360. The reachability will be able to get 26 feet in the air or extend 26 feet. Not only will it do our regular side cutting duties, it'll also cut right away forward. So as the machine is moving from site to site, they could actually cut the right away. And one of the demos that we did, it actually cut large limbs, 3 or 4 inches thick. It cuts them off with one cut, and then you can actually follow this unit with a chipping crew. So all of our low-lining limbs that we have that experiences, that'd be very efficient. Next slide. We did do demos. We scheduled those to compare them directly to the Mower Max, and we also demoed the Mower Max. The base difference in price between a regular side cutter and this machine is only around $25,000. We also spoke to similar sized counties that currently have these units. You can see here the Harris County has one. Both Troup County and Baldwin County had what they call the Generation 1. Those came out about 8 years ago. They've both also bought Generation 4 units. That's the unit that we're asking for here. And now all those units are in service. They've all bought those to replace traditional side cutters. And we found that everybody is extremely happy and has greater efficiency. These are being bought throughout the Southeast for the same reason, to replace side cutters. Next slide. I forgot to, in the 2 slides before, this unit's actually made 100% in America. It's made in Tampa. They make them to order. I apologize for that. And that allows us better operation for parts and for service. And this would also include a 5-year service plan, both for the drivetrain and the unit itself. Go back here. So we have 2 leasing options. They're both very similar as far as price per year. One would start in March, where we could select a option that would start next July, July 15th. So that would be the next fiscal years when payment would be due. When we order this machine, we'll have a 60 to 45 day lead-in time. And once again, currently we do not have a side cutter. That was the one that we had. And it works. We have an operator that just works the side cutter 5 days a week.
Pretty amazed we can get by with just one, if you want to know the truth in our county. I'm glad you're doing it, and it's all seems to be working, but pretty amazed that we only need one, if you want to know the truth on all those roads and stuff we've got. Okay? Questions?
I do have some questions, but I don't know. I'm just like, what are we cutting up in the air? I don't know why we need an arm.
So the main job that this machine does is maintains our dirt roads. So mowing crews don't go down dirt roads. It's all cut with the side cutter. Then, for instance, on High Falls Road, when you get closer to South Walker's Mill Road, all of the limbs and brush on the north side of the road, that's all cut with the side cutter. Then we go down towards 16, all that's cut with the side cutter. It's an extremely efficient way to cut large amounts of brush, bamboo, and that is the one cutter.
Brush is on the right of way?
Yes, absolutely. Everything that's on the right of way, and it's the only thing that cuts our dirt roads.
So if we cut it the last time and brush was on it, what happened to the stuff that we cut? Did we leave it there?
It gets chopped up. So it gets chopped up into little pieces, and/or with this machine, it actually does larger limbs, so we can follow it with a chipper crew. The other thing that we found, the efficiency of this machine, is that when I've talked to other public works departments, they are able to actually go deeper into the cut. So if I could get deeper into the cut, I won't have to come back as often, because our other machine was a 22-foot boom. And this has got a little bit more power and considerable more reach. So that should help us with having to come back less times.
So you bought that other cutter 8 years ago for $225,000.
Around 125.
How much?
125.
And you bought it or you leased it?
No, we bought it.
So if we take a 5-year lease, that's about $350,000 maybe. Why wouldn't we buy it?
I believe that would be a question for finance, ma'am.
No, I'm saying, why wouldn't you come to us for the option for why we wouldn't just buy it? Because
agree.
if you,
I agree.
I mean, I don't know how much buying one is.
The purchase price for this is right around $290.
91.
$291. So you're talking,
Upper left-hand corner.
yeah, it's $291, $725.51. So you're talking $340 and some change. So there's $55,000 worth of interest on that. Yes, buying it may be the best option for us.
I mean, I'm just saying, cause 5 years is a long time. And if you using it to cut grass every day, 5 days a week, what you need 5 years for? You gonna wear it out before that. So I would just be interested in seeing what it looks like to
Purchase.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that between now and.
Absolutely.
All right, any other questions
I agree with
on
that.
this? Okay, thank you, TJ.
Thank you.
Thank you, TJ.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, just a question, if you don't mind. Will the board need additional answers from Mr. Emberger at our 6 o'clock meeting? The reason I ask is because he is a little under the weather and
Yeah.
probably needs to go home.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have anything extra.
No, just you go home, don't get us sick, and it's either gonna be one of the options or we'll purchase outright. Yeah, we've got
Thank you, TJ.
the technical expertise you've given us, thank you. All right, item 10, discussion of Division 1 Laws of Local Application, Part 2, Chapter 1, General Purpose Rescissions. Discussion, and number 11, discussion of Chapter 2, Code of Ordinances 2 from version. I believe that our county attorney, Ms. Wyndham, will share with us about the changes to the ordinances. Ms. Wyndham?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So tonight, you're gonna be asked to approve on first reading changes to Division One, Part Two, Chapter One of the Spalding County Code of Ordinances. But before we discuss those proposed changes, I just kinda like to update you on where we are with our ordinance updates. First of all, it may not seem like it, but you really have done a lot of work on the general code of ordinances. You've approved a complete revamp of our alcohol ordinance, significant changes to Part 8, Chapters 1, 2, 3, and 3A regarding building regulations. You've approved a complete revamp of our no parking on county roads ordinances. We have ready for your approval 2 resolutions regarding false alarms. We have the event center ordinance in process, and the county manager and Mr. Allen and I have met about those, and we each have our assignments. We're working with Chief Byrd to update the fire prevention and protection ordinance. You've approved revisions to our no-through truck ordinance, which were very significant, and the request by the magistrate court to supplement the pay of those judges will also necessitate an ordinance revision. And it also revealed an unnecessary duplication in our existing ordinances that I discussed when Judge Kavanaugh was here earlier. You've approved revisions to our no through trucks ordinance. Oh, sorry, I already said that. And also the courts, that has been in process, but as I said earlier, we will need to be consolidating small claims court, taking magistrate court out of one section. I don't know why it was ever in 2 different sections, but consolidating all of that, and that is in process. The false alarm ordinance, that I'm going to ask that it actually be on the next agenda, and I'll go ahead and send that to you this week. Mr. Fletcher noticed that there was a discrepancy in requirements for registered mail versus regular mail versus certified mail, and I will tell you something that you may or may not know, and that is that since COVID, certified mail does not work the way that certified mail is supposed to work. It does not get delivered and signed for as is appropriate. It meets none of the legal requirements for certified mail anymore, and I'm quite surprised that there's not been legal challenges to service by certified mail yet. I can't imagine that there will not be at some point in the future. But we should not have any requirements for our ordinance citations to be sent via certified mail. And we should also give the opportunity for email service if that service is acknowledged. You can't just email somebody and them not respond and say that they got it and assume that they've accepted email unless you have something signed off on them that says they will accept service or notice by email. But there were 2 different situations in the false alarm arena, that one that allowed for regular mail, one that seemed to require certified mail. So what I'll be asking you to do is first approving the revisions to the false alarm, and once that's passed on a second reading, then I'll have a resolution that will delete the repetitive section. So, as you can see, when we're going through these ordinances, every one leads to another one, which leads to another one, and so on and so on. So, your attention to all of these is very important, and I definitely appreciate the fact that you've been diligent in your review. I did send you yesterday, I believe, the red line version of the one that you'll be looking at tonight. And for me, it's easier to see the changes if it's a red line version versus the to from table. But it doesn't matter. It's whatever works best for y'all. So, I'm certainly willing to entertain any questions about the changes that we are proposing to, this section.
I had asked Steve about something where it talked about the commissioners. I think it's kind of funny that we got this coming through, and it talks about the chairperson being given, an allowance for travel and for chair duties, and commissioners being given the stipend or whatever. And that the magistrate court had not done anything like that. I just don't know how does that happen?
And you have your ordinance has allowed for you to provide them with supplements, for many, many years. They have just never come to you and requested those for whatever reason.
That's why I wanted to ask her that, so that publicly, everybody heard that. They had not done this before and could have done it
Oh, yeah,
years.
they could have done it a decade ago and did not.
Yeah, one of the things that Judge Kavanaugh was sharing with me this morning after staff meeting was that each one of the judges pay for their own personal phone, and they use their own personal phones for doing county business.
I don't think that's good.
Yeah, I don't either.
It is not good.
She was asking specifically, could they get paid for their personal phones as a part of that stipend? And I agree with you. I think that we should go back and
They should have their own,
ask
have a cell
them
phone
to
like
take
everyone.
a county phone so that we can separate personal from their county
Yes,
business.
you should
I mean,
absolutely.
I get it, sometimes you
provide
might take a
them with
phone call,
phones.
but as far as your official business, you should be using the government phone.
Without question.
Especially the constables. I
Yeah.
mean, the judges who are going out to the jail too, but the constables who are out in the field.
Because what if you need to take a picture of something? It's, I'm just saying, it's your,
When
your-
you're doing your personal phone, it's all open.
yeah, so.
And
So
everything.
that's
Stephanie gets to
definitely-
look at all
I'm
the
sorry, you're
stuff.
gonna make me twitch.
Yes.
In just from a side perspective, for years, well, for decades, I would dare venture, that the judges and the constables have been working to keep the cost for our community very low, but we live in a very litigious society, and we desperately need to make sure that we're taking care of them in a way that protects us and protects them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a job that they're doing for
Yes.
the county.
That's-
That,
Yeah, we're all
you know,
square.
driving your personal car around and using your cell phone, that's some extra.
The constables do have county vehicles
They do.
that they utilize, but
But the judges
the
use
judges
their
do
own.
not.
Okay, so we're gonna take care of that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, has it always been that a person has to live in Spalding County 2 years prior to qualifying as a candidate?
Yes, that has been the case for as long as I'm aware. And
How
one
do you-
year
How
in
do you
the
verify
district.
that?
How do you verify that they've been a resident of the county? They can prove, well, they have to sign an affidavit when they qualify. So that says that they,
And you have to do that too.
yeah.
When you
that-
go sign, when we all go
I
sign
know,
up.
but I mean, I could just say I have been.
Well, would be false swearing, which is a crime.
Yeah, but how do you know?
If there's ever any question about it, I mean, they check, have you been registered to vote, in the county for however
Pretty
long?
much that would be
so
it,
that's-
if
that-
you're registered in the county. for
Yeah,
2 years.
that's an easy way to determine your
'Cause I'm just
county
like,
residency.
yeah. It's
And
kinda
we
like the
see that
land bank.
periodically.
And,
Somebody gets caught,
one
hasn't
of
done it for 2 years.
one of the parties last year actually, approved someone to run that had not lived in their district for the requisite amount
PSC,
of time.
wasn't it on the PSC side?
No, it was
So-
for
so-
county commission.
Yeah, but I think they also had one, we had to take it off or something. Yeah, never mind, okay. Okay,
BMI. Okay, so, let me see what else I was gonna ask. Make my picture come back. So I didn't realize that. For some reason, I thought it was 1 year. And then I'm still looking for the thing about the paying the Tell me where it is.
2.11.
2.11.
And-
Compensation, there you go. So, yeah, it says something for the commissioners and for the chairperson. It says that they will be reimbursed in full for, this says the Board of Commissioners shall also receive an expense allowance to cover and provide in full for the expenses of travel within Spalding County each month in an amount to be set by resolution of the Board of Commissioners. Well, if getting paid in full, how is that different than following the personnel policy? We have a policy that,
Yeah, the purchasing policy for reimbursement of expenses.
reimbursement policy, so why do we need to say in full if that's not the same as the policy that we go by, which is what
So you're making a recommendation to make the change to that one portion of the ordinance to comply with personnel policy that talks about the reimbursement program and how we use the state reimbursement amount? Is that what you're asking for?
I think we should.
Because
And
that would be per diem
And where are you actually?
Oh, on page 4 of 6, under compensation, where did I see that?
2.11.
Yeah, 2.2. Okay, I'm going somewhere. Yeah, 2.2 A and B. Where it talks about the chairman shall receive an allowance to cover and provide in full for the expenses of travel. And then next paragraph, it says commissioner shall receive an expense allowance to cover and provide in full for expenses of travel within Spalding County each month in an amount to be set by resolution of the Board of Commissioners. And then it says which that compensation is to be paid monthly. I'm just like, why has it got to be in full? Does anybody not get paid in full? I mean, in full is whatever the federal government says that travel is, and we have an expense thing that says you can only get this much a day for meals. So what, are we doing something different than we're expecting in the personnel policy?
I think there's a difference between in-county business and out-of-county business.
No, the allowance that we get is to cover us doing whatever. But if you travel out of county, you just submit your mileage.
And meals and all that, yeah.
Right, so under any circumstances, if you travel beyond what you think this needs to happen, I'm just not understanding why it needs to be different. If we have a personnel policy, that's just kind of adding another level to.
Well, I mean, this section that you're referring to is specifically for in-county. It's not for your travel.
Yeah.
Where
But
that actually would come into play. The personnel policy doesn't apply to in-county.
Right, so we get a stipend every month, regardless of if I travel from here to Kroger, or if I go to Butts County or whatever, you're getting that regardless.
And that's what this section covers.
Right, but what is this reimbursement in full?
I can't.
Reimbursement for what?
It
Because
says
we're
to
saying-
cover and provide for expenses of travel within Spalding County.
I think this is how the stipend comes in.
I know that, but it's saying reimbursement. If we wanna say you're given an allowance monthly to cover travel within the county for that month, then that's it, but it's not reimbursement, it's an assignment of some funding. So we're not being reimbursed in full. Cause if
I
I'm
don't
driving
see
a
reimbursement.
big. Okay, let me see where I saw the thing. Oh, wait, no. I'm trying to make this work. Expense allowance to
So
cover and
it's
provide in
on the
full
screen.
for the expenses of travel within Spalding County each month.
Right, it's second sentence, paragraph B. The chairman of the Board of Commissioners shall also receive an expense allowance to cover and provide in full for the expense of travel within Spalding County each month in an amount to be set by resolution by the Board of Commissioners. That's what you were discussing.
Mm-hmm.
Is the word in full the the real issue
So,
with
Yes.
so my red line says, the chairman of the Board of Commissioners shall receive an additional monthly stipend for service as chairman of the Board of Commissioners in an amount to be set by resolution of the board. The chairman of the Board of Commissioners shall also receive an expense allowance to cover and provide in full for the expenses of travel within Spalding County each month in an amount to be set by resolution of the Board of Commissioners. Said compensation shall be payable in monthly installments on the last day of each month from the funds of Spalding County and shall be in addition to the salary and any other compensation received by such officer.
Yeah, I think just the two
Provide,
words,
yeah.
in full, was what,
Yeah, cause I'm just not even
Okay, so
understanding why that.
I mean, it doesn't indicate that it's a reimbursement, because it's an amount set by resolution as a stipend. But allowance to cover and provide, just take out in full.
Yeah, I would feel better about
Well,
that.
that's okay with me.
Because it's a stipend, and you either gonna give it or you're not. Why would you give us a piece of it?
Yeah.
I've never gotten a piece of mine.
Just cause.
Okay. I think that was the only thing.
I had one, there is a blank that is in the current, ordinance that I would feel much better if we actually filled it in.
Okay, well, yeah, so would I.
So, see,
that
it's,
on the
my
next
pages
page?
are different because I have a red line, so, it is,
in the paragraph right
it is
before,
J.
all right, before we get there, Stephanie, the
Okay.
paragraph right before B, so it's, the second paragraph of A. It says.
In 2.2.
Yes, amended from time to time, ...
Oh, I see it. I see the ... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took that out.
Okay,
Yes, I did. I took out the extra dots.
okay,
Okay.
and now we're going to J.
Now we're going back to section 2.1 J.
Go down.
Okay.
H-I-J.
Jay. Oh, yeah, okay.
See that blank?
I do.
Yeah, that kind of bothers me.
A vacancy on the Board of Commissioners may occur by resignation from the Board of Commissioner, removal from the Commissioner Board for any legal matter, or for failure to attend at least one regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners for blank consecutive months, which failure to attend shall be deemed a resignation from the board. Okay?
So actually, the at least one regular meeting, since we have what we call a regular meeting and an extraordinary session, I would I would want to take out the word regular, because I would want it to be, you miss the meeting. I mean, if you attend the extraordinary session, but you miss the regular meeting for 3 months, then
Could you add a word in, or the failure to attend at least one regularly scheduled meeting, and that way it corresponds with the number of months. So if they miss 3 months, that would be 6 regularly, or, well, 3, 6, 9, that would be 9 regularly scheduled meetings that they missed.
So why are we doing this?
Remember, you're updating your ordinance. Do you want to put something in there that precludes a commissioner from missing 9 regularly scheduled meetings? There could be a health issue.
Yes, that's
What about 6 months of regularly scheduled? That would be 18 meetings.
and also recall that in cases of some illness, they could attend virtually, as long as there was a quorum physically present, more than the actual twice in a calendar year.
Where does it say that?
That's in the open records law. That's not in that. I mean, the open meetings law. That's not in.
I'm okay with a couple, I think there needs to be a sentence in there about being sick. That's the only one I know of that says something. If you're not there, it has to be you're sick, or we're getting ready to say, thank you for your service, and we're letting you go.
So, but how can you deem somebody resigned that the citizens elected to put in office? How you can do that?
Well, you've had it in your ordinance for a long, long time.
It don't mean nothing.
You just left a blank. And if you recall, it did create quite an issue at one time.
Yes. Huh, it did. But we've taken care of that. As I read through it, we've taken care of,
Yeah, I just kind of feel like it's kind of overkill here. I mean, that was 20 years I've been here. That was a one-off. Okay? There's been a lot of crazy commissioners up here with me, but that was just one. And so I'm just saying sometimes you don't need to be making up all these different rules for situations that may or may not ever happen.
Yes, ma'am, just for the record, I didn't make it up. It was already.
No, but I'm just saying, so what did it say before? Did it say
It-
2 months,
It
6
said,
months?
no,
3
it,
months?
it has a blank in the
And
act.
maybe there's a reason why it has a blank.
okay.
The reason is somebody wasn't paying attention, but I can take out the entire last part of that semicolon. I wouldn't want to take out the first two, sections where it's by resignation or removal for any legal means.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you get in trouble up here, they write you a little, what is that letter that you give to, that the
Censor.
board can give you something? A
Censor.
censure.
Censure,
You
yes.
know, it's not really anything, but you have to be found guilty or complicit of something, and somebody has a job and they're not coming to it. Okay? We don't have the authority to fire them. It is what it is. This is not how
If that's true,
That's why
if
you
we-
get voted in.
If
There's
that's
an-
true, we should take it out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't have that authority. I don't even know why we writing that down and saying it, because we can't.
Well, it's been there for a while. so-
Well, it's wrong as hell.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
these two parts of that sentence are not wrong. A vacancy on the Board of Commissioners may occur by resignation from the
Yes.
board, removal by any legal means. Those two should stay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree that is, you know, but that's beyond us. We still can't remove them. Somebody in a
Let's just
higher
put a
pay
period
grade
right
than
there
us.
at that point and redline the rest.
Works for me.
Okay.
I mean, I just think, you know, if a person is sick, of course, I mean, I think.
But I think there needs to be a sick thing in there.
You have.
Well, there's no reason to include sick if we're
Taking
if
that
we're
other
taking
part.
that out.
Yeah, that's a good
Correct.
point.
I mean,
Yes.
because the expectation is if your constituents elected you to be here, if you can't be here physically, you need to be here on the screen. Or, you know what I'm saying? And even if they're not here, the rest of us, and I'm just pointing over there at you because it could be that way. The rest of us are still responsible to be their commissioner. So
Good point. Okay.
point a song, one monkey don't stop a show. We still don't get business done if somebody don't show up, right?
Happens to
So,
us all the time.
yeah.
We end up with 4 instead of 3.
I mean, nobody likes it.
You end up with 4 instead of 5. Okay. Anything else?
If y'all have questions.
I did have a question, Stephanie. It was about incarcerated individuals. Just help me understand what that means. 2.2 at the bottom of page 5.6. I kind of think it's saying that we can pay Superior Court officers something, but then it starts saying that it's compensation to be fixed by said board, no comma, for those individuals convicted of a misdemeanor in said court. That just confused to me. And turned over for incarceration. Help me understand what that.
Okay, so the Board
I'm
of
sorry, where are
Commissioners-
we?
It's section 2.5.
2.5.
2.5, okay.
I
Yes.
just don't understand that paragraph. Help
It's
me.
gonna say convicts on yours, not incarcerated individuals. So the Board of Commissioners of Spalding County are hereby authorized in their discretion to pay the officers of the Superior Court of Spalding County and the State Court a reasonable compensation to be fixed by said board for those individuals convicted of a misdemeanor. Oh, so we can pay the courts, you as a board can pay the courts a set fee for individuals who are convicted of a misdemeanor and turned over for incarceration to the corrections facility of Spalding County. So that's just,
Pay them for what?
basically for the process of turning over the individuals who are convicted for incarceration.
Do we
And
do that now?
I believe
That's
those are
not clear
included.
to me that that is what that said.
I
And think
believe
that's
those are included in the court fees already.
I do agree that that's included in the court fees.
But it doesn't say for court fees. It just says for those people.
Well, that's
who
because it's based on the
convicted on a-
person, not, and it actually could be based on the multiple counts even of whatever they're convicted of.
That's correct. Court fees are established by case. So if someone's adjudicated for 5 separate misdemeanor cases, then court fees would apply to each one of those 5 separate cases.
And in the next section, the next paragraph, it tells you that the money that is paid for those incarcerated individuals is first applied to the cost of the case, including jail fees and the cost of the magistrate court and constable if it originated in the magistrate court, and if not, it would be paid to the court that it originated in, which would most likely be state court.
Okay.
Okay, so we start out
So
talking
if you-
about Superior Court. Right?
Well, it's
And then the next.
Superior Court, State Court, and State Court is in that first
Correct.
section.
It's a natural flow from top to bottom.
Or courts can't put them in the CI.
No, well, state court can.
Yeah, but, yeah, magistrate can't, yeah, okay. Just, as we walk them down, they can, yeah, okay. Ms. Quinn, you square with this, or you
But
want?
the magistrate court could have fees involved because they're the ones that go over and do the hearings for them.
That is correct.
Oh, yep.
So they
yep.
do have cost.
Yep, I do, yes, okay, that is
Okay,
right. Okay,
I just didn't understand what that meant. Okay, that's all I got.
okay, anybody else
That
got
was a
anything?
good, that's good. I remember us working on this part up here at the top about the how to reappoint people.
Yes,
get
we
people
worked hard
back
at
on
it.
the board, yeah.
We weren't gonna go through that again. Wait
Yeah,
for-
no, I think we did a good job on it before. I'm okay with it now.
Okay, so I will make those changes, and then tonight would be the first reading, and next meeting would be the second reading for this one.
All right, item number 12,
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
So the second meeting, does that mean it will be the resolution we will be voting on at that time? That'll
Second
make
reading.
it legal?
That's correct.
Okay,
yeah, up until then, yes.
okay.
Item 12, executive session. We will now enter an executive session for the following purpose: conduct an executive session for the purpose of discussion and authorization of negotiations related to the acquisition, sale, disposal, or lease of real property as permitted by OCGA 5014-3B1B, where public discussion could adversely affect the county's position.
Motion to go into closed session for the four stated items.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. We're in executive session.
Man, my knee is stuck. Can't miss what you read. Oh.
Right here, Miss Nurse.
Oh, man, that thing was stuck in one
There will
spot.
not be any action after this particular.
session.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
No, second.
To adjourn.
All right. I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. We're adjourned with this session. Thank you.
To eat.
Okay.
Mike, please.